Hi, my name's Bridgette Mongeon. Authority Magazine has asked me to give you my top 5 things to find joy and happiness. Why would they ask me? Well, I wrote a book on the Zen of business and carving a creative and happy life. And finding happiness and being happy is kind of my thing. I also like to write and collaborate with my granddaughter on children's books for mental health. So I'm here at my Alice in Wonderland sculpture in Evelyn's Park. And my friends at the tea party said that they would help me give you my top 5 things. Are you ready? Let's get going. Thank you very much. Now, when you're not having joy, it can feel like you're mad as a hatter. I'm sorry, no offense. But this is true, and because it starts in your brain. And I tell my granddaughter, she has a little guy in her head. His name is Mortimer McAllister, and she knows Mortimer McAllister, manipulative man, will take control of your feelings whenever he can. And so what I want to tell you is that there is a guy in your brain that's pushing your buttons and pulling your levers, and he is controlling what you're doing. Adults call it your subconscious, and it's a real thing. Now, science says your subconscious can act 6 to 11 seconds before you even know what's happening. So our first tip is to recognizing what's in our subconscious and what's happening to us. As an example, let's say a friend calls you up and says, I can't have lunch with you today, I'm sorry. Well, your subconscious may push buttons, and before you know it, it's pushing buttons way back from when you were a kid, saying that your dad can no longer go to dinner with you when your parents were divorced, and you're having all these feelings about it that you don't even recognize. So when the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland asked, who are you? He wasn't asking about her name. He was asking her to look inside and find out who she is. So I'm going to say, curiouser and curiouser, let's be curious about ourselves and find out. And recognizing your Mortimer, recognizing your subconscious is taking you hostage is the first step. Now, let's go on to step 2. There's no doubt that the dormouse was a laid-back dude. Here's my tip number 2. And it has to do with being laid back. It's about breath and meditation. Now, I know everybody breathes. And I know there's some people that think meditation is something like sitting on a hill like a guru in a yoga pose. It doesn't have to be that hard. 10 minutes a day, I set my timer for 10 and 2, and I just practice breathing. It's as simple as that. Now, let me warn you that if you have gone through something, maybe you have lung disease or you've gone through a virus where it's been hard to breathe, then for someone to say something as simple as, let's practice breathing, that can be very scary. So you have to become friends with your breath as well, and you have an added thing. So instead of just focusing on my breath for 10 minutes, you know me, I gotta play. So I've developed games that I play when I meditate and I breathe. And before I know it, the 10 minutes is up. So here's the key. If you've got a Mortimer McAllister and he is taking over your brain and making you anxious, the first thing that you can do is breathe. Now, if you're anxious and you're going, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening, and you're saying, I gotta breathe, that's not the time that you're gonna be able to breathe. But if you play games with your breath every day, and you get used to playing games with your breath every day, then guess what happens? It's as simply as playing a game when you're anxious. You just start to breathe, and it just becomes automatic. Because you are training your brain to know that this is what I do. So breath and meditation are superpowers, and there are so many ways to do it and so many things that can help you out there. So practice your breathing, play games, have fun, and you have superpowers as well. The next thing I would like to point out is this is step 3. Have an adventure. That means getting up and moving. The old adage of move it or lose it does make a difference. You have to move your body, and science proves that if you exercise on a regular basis, there's a chemical reaction that will just make you feel good. Now, don't think of exercising as exercising. It could be anything. You could be going out and playing ball with your son, or taking a walk in the woods, go to a park, anything. Just have an adventure and move on a regular basis. It'll make a big difference in how you feel joy. My 4th tip, no March Hare, it's not better butter, but I like that. It is garbage in, garbage out. Now that's a computer term that people may know called GIGO. And it just simply means that if you put data into the computer and it's not any good, you're not going to get any good data out. Well, the same thing happens to our minds, our bodies, and our souls. If we don't feed it with good stuff, nothing's good going to come out. We're going to feel awful. So if you're feeling anxious, turn off the news. Don't continue to watch those type of movies that are going to make you feel anxious. Find things that are going to nurture your soul and help you to feel quiet and calm. It will make a huge difference in your life and in your happiness. And the same goes for food. What you put into your body makes a huge difference. That will help you feel better physically, emotionally. So be thinking about what you're eating as well. But I do like better butter. Shall we go and have some tea? Thanks for inviting me. The Cheshire Cat and I are going to tell you our last and final tip, and it's a good one, and that is having an attitude of gratitude. You see, you can wake up in the morning and you can say to yourself, I can bend, I can move, I can breathe, and start your day off with gratitude. But if you can develop a grateful spirit, science shows that it will make a difference. And just don't keep it to yourself. Pass it on to somebody else. I'm so grateful for you, Cheshire Cat. I'm so grateful for this sculpture. It could be anything. Walk into your house and around your house, pick up something that you've owned for a really long time, and then remember when you bought it or when someone gave it to you, and feel those feelings all over again and be thankful for it. Science has proven that having an attitude of gratitude will make you feel better in your life and give you joy. So I encourage you, and so does he. All right. Thank you for letting me share from Wonderland. Now let's recap those 5 things. Remember, if you're feeling as mad as a hatter and you're feeling all crazy inside, it could be your Mortimer McAllister. And the first thing that you can do is to recognize Mortimer, and that will help you to get through it. The second thing is a superpower, your breath. If you learn to breathe and you play games with your breath on a regular basis, then when Mortimer or your subconscious takes over, you can come and you can help it, and that will make you feel joy. The third thing is to have an adventure. Get up and move. Do whatever you can to move your body, because science proves that that will make you feel better. And not only physically, but emotionally. And that can look any way you want. Now, if you're getting up and moving and you're trying to figure out how to get up and move and you need motivation, maybe someone else does too. That's what happened to me several years back when I wanted to go out in the woods. As a single woman, I wasn't quite sure if that would be safe. So I got online and I developed a Facebook group. And now over 7,000 women are in this group, and I am never short of someone to go camping or go out in the woods with. It makes a difference. So what you feel like you are lacking may be something that someone else is lacking. And when you develop a community, there's an extra plus in this. That's a number 6. Developing a community or being in a community or group actually makes you happier. So that is an extra bonus to when you're getting out and moving. The fourth thing is not better butter, it's garbage in, garbage out. What you put into your body really makes a difference, both what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and what you're eating and drinking. So be careful of that. The fifth thing is the Cheshire Cat reminds us to have an attitude of gratitude. That means waking up every morning and feel grateful for what you have, even playing the gratitude game. And don't forget to share that gratitude, because that makes a difference as well. My friends at Wonderland and I want to thank you. It's been really wonderful sharing these things for you. I think there's many more than 5, even though I've given you a couple extra in between. But do have an adventure, be curious. And if you need help, find help. So you can search me on the internet. I'd be happy to give you a hand. Anyway, if it feels difficult, I always think what the White Queen said. I believe as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. So have fun. This is going to be a curious adventure.